Oh god, okay. Hello, hello. Today we'll be continuing on another playthrough of Our Life Beginnings and Always. The wedding DLC, that is. The wedding DLC. I think last week? Was it last week? No, the week before, I think. I decided to split the planning part into 2 parts. Because there were like 4 sections of the planning part. And then I'm pretty sure there's like a 5th section, but that's really the wedding, the actual wedding. So I think I'm gonna play 2 parts of the planning part section this week, and then this month, and then the next month, technically the next month, but you know, next month I'll be playing the other 2 sections of the planning part, and then the month after I'll be how do I say it? I'll be playing the actual wedding part. So yeah, if the actual wedding part ends up as a really short stream, I'll probably play a bit of Stardew Valley or something. So yeah, and here we go. Hold up, let me drink some water. Hold on with config. I don't want to stand. Let's drink some more water. Let's drink some water before this. Okay, that's good enough. The lighting. Oh jeez, ever since I put the new model on, my laptop's been making more whirring noises. I guess that's the cost of it. The light tinkling of a bell over the door announced your arrival as you and Cove stepped inside, where you were immediately welcomed by a pleasant waft of sweet scents. The bakery was a delight for the senses even before you'd taken a single bite. Decked out in a pretty shade of pink, it was impossible to miss. Cove closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. There was a soft air of cakes and pastries baking in the oven, tinged with warm spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. What does nutmeg even taste like? Does anyone know? I never tried nutmeg. What even is a nutmeg? Is it a nut? Spicy nut? Maybe not. The display was full of the daily selection of mouth-watering delicacies, neatly lined up and ready to be taken away. The selection ranged from intricate specialty cakes to more rustic, homey brownies and cupcakes. Hold up, let me go check on something. Oh, hold up. Oh jeez. Let's just... Usually those kinds of treats would be everything you needed, but today was a special visit. You were entirely focused on the even better desserts waiting for you on the horizon. I'm gonna just save this here just in case. Let me just try something for a moment. Oh, can I not? Oh, okay. Let me just fix this for a moment. Huh. Odd. Well, anyways, you could tell Cove shared your feelings. He waited beside you with every outward appearance of patience, but you could tell his anticipation by the way that he kept a close watch on the kitchen door as he waited for an employee to come greet you. This uncharacteristic restraint was a stark contrast to any other time he'd visit a bakery, where he'd have rush rushed over to the display case and immediately began picking out cakes to take home. Lol. As he shifted from one foot to the other, you knew that he was fighting to hold back those usual urges. Luckily, his self-control wasn't tested for long. Soon, the door to the kitchen swung open, and a friendly-looking face emerged. Spotting you and Co, the person smiled and began heading over. As they approached, you saw that the name on their tag said Savior, with a little purple button pinned to one strap of their apron with the words they/them. Ah, I see. Okay. Printed in black letters. Xavier walked right up to you and gave you a welcome so warm you could have sworn it had come fresh from the oven. Hello, thanks for coming by, Zake. Is there anything I can get for you? Zake. Odd name, but I like it. Hi. Cove paused, pointing first at himself and then at you as he spoke. We're Cove and Airi. We've got an appointment here. His voice, which had started out measured and even, became hushed as the trill of what you were here to do started to get to Cove. When he resumed speaking, it broke further still, developing into a rushed whisper that Xavier needed to lean in to catch. Unbelievable. It's to plan our wedding cake. We're getting married. What he said. We're so glad to be here. Let's go with that one. Xavier's eyes lit up at the introduction. Of course! Welcome, Airi and Cove, to our bride and groom. Cove breathed ever so slightly at those last words, his chin jutting out with confidence. Hold on, let me check again. Why is it still saying going live? Should I refresh this? Hold on, let me refresh this. I wonder if it'll do anything. Please don't do anything. Let me just check if it's doing anything. Oh, okay. No, okay, it's working now. Oh gosh, I was so worried. I'm Xavier, the head cake artist here. We're so happy to be working with you for such an important event. You can take some seats right there in front, and we can start talking options. Ah, you even say steak up there. Didn't even see that coming. They gestured to a nearby table. You and Cove obliged, taking your seats. As you sat down, your stomach somersaulted. You were really here to pick out a wedding cake, the cake that would be served at your wedding. It hadn't quite sunk in before, but being invited to begin had made it feel more official. But knowing that you weren't alone in feeling that way, comforted you, and you grinned at the love of your life. Cove beamed back at you. Sappy. The baker had taken a detour over to the back shelf, where they picked up a binder before coming to stand before you at the table. I went over the info our baking assistant took when the appointment was arranged, so we can dive right into things. So let's get to it, starting with the size of the cake. How big do you want to go? We can go as big as 5 tiers high. Maybe. 2 or 3 maybe? Cove tilted his head to the side as he looked to you for input. 3 would, yeah, kind of great. 3 is mid. Not in an offensive way. You know, it's just not too much and not too little, you know? It's just right in the middle, kind of like the Goldilocks zone, I guess. Cool. Seeing as you'd reach a conclusion, Xavier noted it down in the binder. A 3-tier cake it is. They glanced up from the binder, smiling. That will give us a lot to work with. In terms of decorating, is there any kind of direction you'd want us to aim for the overall style? Cove pursed his lips, stumped by the question. Artistic vision had never been a strong suit. At least artistic vision is my— lucky for you. Artistic vision is my strong suit. Okay. No, that's not really good. That's kind of embarrassing, actually. I what? Though you'd review ideas for decorations and color schemes together, asking Cove to distill those visions and themes into words was doomed to failure. You took it from there. Oh, hello, Melissa. Is it Malik Tori? Malik Tori? Or was it Melissa Tori? Adventure? Wait, where did the adventure come from? Malik. So how was your how was your week? Has it been kind to you? Sort of. I had to do a presentation for my assignment, for my major assignment, and like, oh jeez. My classmates, the class seemed to like it, so I guess I'm not too— I shouldn't be too worried about it. You took it from there and said, you know what, I think I'd better off with pictures rather than words. Let's see. Traditional, modern, elegant, unusual, trendy, rustic, floral, beachy, simplistic. Ooh, beachy might be good. You got it. The C is not pronounced. So it's Malik Tori. Oh, hello, Malik Tori. It's nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. How was your week or day even? Cove sighed, relieved, and expressed his approval. Yeah, that's right. We can work with that for sure. Any color ranges in mind? Again, Cove fell silent, like a kid hoping not to be called on in the classroom. Even though it was just the three of you, he had no chance of hiding. You could swear that he was shrinking lower in his seat, as if hoping to go unnoticed. Well, with how tall you are, sir, I don't think you can go unnoticed. No offense. As entertaining as that was, you decided to spare Cove before he slipped under the table. You spoke up and said, "Is that your debut, you silly?" This is not our first meeting. Oh jeez. Rather, it was our seventh. Seventh? Wait, does Twitter count? Oh, okay. I was getting worried there. I was like, wait. I was getting worried there. I was just like, wait a minute. Wait, did I miss something? I feel like I've seen you on my pre-debut stream. Maybe you're under a different profile picture, or maybe not. Oh god, I have a really bad memory on this kind of stuff. Sorry. Let's see. Oh god. Mostly white with color pops. Yeah, that sounds nice. Got it. And what's one color you really want to keep on the top of my mind? Oh, that's a lot of colors. Let's see. Sandy, mostly white. What goes well with white? Pink and green, because I'm thinking of pink for roses and green leaves or something. Let's go pink. Nice. I'm leading you. Wait, what? What did you say? I'm getting you. Jeez. What is memory? Baby, don't worry. No worry. No more. I'm sorry. Oh, it must be that thing I don't have enough of. Yeah, indeed. Wait. Yeah, I probably don't have enough memory. Unfortunate. Despite passing the entrance exam. Two-time corp and all. Xavier looked up from the binder. Right, so we're getting for a three-tier pink cake. That's beachy. You could picture the cake clearly now. It was just what you'd wanted. Yeah, that's right. Cove, who was staring at you like you'd saved him from a life-to-death situation, rather than answering a couple of simple questions in a pleasant bakery, gave you a thumbs up. Ah, like father, like son. Xavier watched you both with a smile. This cake is really shaping up. Time for the fun part. I'll be right back. They got up and made their way into the kitchen. The fun part? Cove echoed the words, puzzled but intrigued. He peered after Xavier, trying to catch a glimpse of the magic happening behind the closed doors. Craning his neck didn't grant Cove X-ray vision, but that was just fine, as you weren't kept in suspense for long. Xavier quickly returned with a large covered serving tray. Cove gasped, his fingers curling in with anticipation. Oh, we get samples. Hold up, I'm gonna go fix something with my model for a moment. Let's see. Maybe. Okay, you know what? That's good enough. Oh wait, don't do that. No, don't do that. Okay, that's good enough. Careful, coming through. They lowered the heavy platter onto the table, where it clattered against the hard surface as it settled. Is it just me, or do these look really, really tasty? Not gonna lie, I really want to eat the red one. It looks tasty. Xavier lifted the cover to reveal several plates of little cake slices with mounds of different frostings and filling flavors. The beautiful array of colors and breadth, breadth, bread, breadth. God, why is English so weird? And breadth of the selection made for a wonderfully presented array of treats. Cove gasped, wowed by the revelation. We get to try samples? Xavier giggled at Cove's reaction. Given just how much enthusiasm Cove had, you bet there weren't any previous grooms whose response could compare. Good grief, English. You do. They pointed at the tray and began talking you through the selection, starting with the neat little slices of cakes. So we've got a few cake flavors for you today: vanilla, chocolate, red velvet, citrus, and such. They moved over to the frostings and fillings. There's vanilla, chocolate strawberry, maple, and mocha buttercream. Mocha buttercream, what does that taste like? Over there we got chocolatey and fruity fillings, though the inside can simply contain more frosting if you'd prefer. Having talked you through the samples, they straighten up. These are some of our most popular options, but not everything. You can see all our options on the order forms. As they talked back, they took out 2 copies of the order sheets and presented you with one each. All the possibilities for each element of the cake were laid out before you. That's everything. You're welcome to eat whatever parts looks appealing. Or you can have everything on the platter if you got the stomach for it. I don't think I got the stomach for it. I can't handle... Unfortunately, I don't like cakes that are way too sweet for me. I like the plain kind of cakes. Because the more sweeter they get, the more sickening it feels if you eat too much of it. Like, sweet cakes, really sweet ones, they taste good at first, but after you eat it for a while, like, it gets really sickening, and your throat starts to feel dry and all that. And then you gotta drink like copious amounts of water to like quench your throat's thirst from the sugar and the chocolate and the icing. Cove's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Knowing Cove, you suspected that he intended to take Xavier up on the offer to sample everything. Ah, classic. Not surprised there, Cove. He picked up the fork and provided the foolproof cake is scary. The cake is a lie. Not that I've ever played Portal, but I've heard that reference enough. The cake is a lie. It was all cake. The earth is made out of cake. Cake. Cake land. The cake lies to you. He picks up the fork provided and began systematically working through the platter. He took scoops out of the cake, frosting and filling options in turn, moving from left to right and from top to bottom. Damn, son, you're really eating down that sample, huh? You chuckled softly, amused that your hunch had been correct. Though Cove was evidently intent on eating a bit of everything, you noted that he was careful to leave at least half of each sample, in case you wanted it too. Cakeland! Cookie Run Kingdom has Cakeland. Technically has Cakeland. Isn't there a cookie in Cookie Run Kingdom named Red Velvet Cookie? Oh wait, I should know this because I play the game, but yeah, there is a cookie in Cookie Run Kingdom named Red Velvet Cookie. He's kinda cool, in my opinion. Okay, I should not sponsored by Cookie Run Kingdom. You only wanted to try out the ones I look. Yeah, let's go with that because I don't want to eat too many of that stuff. There are certain flavors you knew you'd like. You really wanted to focus on those ones then before making your choice. I noticed like whenever I do this, whenever I look down, you can see my face going really sad. Now I'm sad. Now I'm happy. Sad. Happy. Sad. Happy. And then if I go up, I look really I look crazy, sort of, like kind of deranged a little. Sad, happy, deranged, and neutral. Sort of neutral. Doesn't quite look neutral. Picking up a fork, you joined Coven, sampling the cakes, frostings, and fillings on offer. You remembered your delight to each other as you discovered new combinations and enjoyed the sheer variety laid out before you. Where's the donation? To funny I want to donate as funny stream related characters to boost fun. Wait, I don't mm, considering I'm like an extremely small channel, I really did not think I needed donations. When you look up, you look like you're getting a view of an overhead helicopter. Helicopter, and I don't know that reference too well. I don't know that the helicopter mean too well. Oh well, when you look up, you're getting a review of an overhead helicopter. Am I? Oh yeah, I kinda do. It looks like I'm looking at my Ohoge. Oh god, imagine if my Ohoge can like turn around 360 degrees. It becomes a helicopter. Oh, it'd become like that little helicopter hat thing from Doraemon. Oh man, that'd be cool. But yeah, I do not have a donation thing right now because as you can see, I'm an extremely small channel and I kind of don't really need. Well, do I really need the money? I mean, to be fair, when I started this channel, like I wasn't really thinking of the money aspect because I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go grow big, because I'm just doing this as like a hobby once a week sort of thing. Am I gonna get big because of streaming once a week? Probably not. So I was like, yeah, I don't think the money part is important. But then, but then before switching over to OBS Studios, I was using Streamlabs before. And if you look, I don't know if it's in the description, but if you look in the description, there's still the Streamlabs donation link thing, despite me not using Streamlabs anymore. So yeah, I think I have to log out of Streamlabs so the donation link doesn't automatically pop up in any of my streams, as I don't want to unintentionally make money over copyrighted music or something like that. Oh geez, that'd be bad. Okay, that's enough copyright talk and all that. Wait, is that how monetization works? I mean, I know there are a few rules on that aspect in YouTube, but I'm not familiar with that stuff. You murmured your delight. I should stop muttering to myself at this point. You murmured your delight to each other as you discovered new combinations and enjoyed the sheer variety laid out before you. Yeah, that is quite the variety there. Wonder what these frostings are. Actually, are these? No, I think these must be the toppings. What is this frosting? We got pink, red, beetroot, and mustard. Those are not very good frostings. I don't think that's what they are, but I'm putting up weird names already. Cove's eyes shone as he looked at you, glad to be sharing the experience. You were so enraptured that you nearly forgot that you weren't alone with Cove, but this too was by design. The baker stood by. Wait, the baker was standing with us. Wow, that must have been awkward. The baker stood by approvingly, careful not to do anything that might interrupt your enjoyment. Can you leave, please? I like to eat in peace. Wow, we gotta do that and third wheel the baker here. You just as a cozy, maybe, cozied up. Oh gosh. Yeah, let's relax. Cove shimmied happily in his seat. The different varieties had gone down very well with him. They're all so good. Oh gosh. He cracked a grin. Why am I not surprised, mate? Hey, could we have a tier of every flavor? Xavier laughed. Unfortunately, we can't. At least not in a single cake. And I'm guessing you don't want several different cakes for your wedding. Yeah, we should go with the one. Yeah, that'd be one too many cakes. I have no idea. I have no idea how we're gonna choose with so many great choices. We're definitely ready to get our own cake after having the samples. That's okay, Cove. We can always get cakes for our anniversaries in the future. You have a point there. You shook your head at Cove's antics. You nodded in agreement. Yeah, we can get more cakes than anniversaries. Once a year. Well, no, technically 3 times a year if you count our birthdays. Oh god. What's going on with my mind? I was like incredibly tired a few minutes ago and now I'm like kinda energetic. It would be nice to taste the experience over again, year after year, especially if you could continue to get cakes from the same bakery that had provided your wedding cake. That'd be a lovely tradition. The suggestion made him swoon for you. The promise of food and staying together was a perfect hit. Ah, his mouth has gone wobbly again. Now that you had a taste of the bakery's cakes, and Cove had had several, it was time to figure out the details. We can do the cake all in one flavor, top to bottom, or let you choose 2 sets of different flavors. What works for you? I think one flavor. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Cove lifted himself up off the chair briefly to switch position. He moved over from leaning forwards towards the tray and shifted to be situated on the side of the chair facing you. So, what are your thoughts? You don't need to stick to it forever. But were you thinking something kind of plain, chocolatey, fruity, or what? You picked up the copy of the form to review the options again. After studying it, you said simple and vanilla. I just don't know. I'm going with vanilla. I like vanilla. Okay. He rested his chin in his hand as he stared thoughtfully into the distance. A smile drifted across his face as he pictured the possibilities for a cake. Did you know Hokey Pokey ice cream was just vanilla and honeycomb? Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought Hokey Pokey, it had bits of something else inside, but I didn't think it was honeycomb. I was kind of sad about that. I was like, "Aw, it's not the little things are not called hokey pokey. Not just called hokey pokey. It's just honeycomb. Oh, I was kind of sad about that. When my friend told me that, I was like, oh damn, oh man, my dreams have been ruined. I love hokey pokey ice cream. Oh, that's a bit sad. Oh well. It would be a white cake with white buttercream, but instead of more buttercream inside, maybe there's a vanilla custard? Hmm. I think different cake flavor. Ko sat up straight, amazed that his idea had been a starting point for a collaboration with you. Yeah, I'd love you to add your own thing. Ah, how supportive of him. Thinking about the type of cake you wanted, you decided to suggest red velvet cake. Red and white go well together, you know? The red really pop the red really pops out of the white when it gets cut open, like cutting open an actual person, and their flesh and blood go on the white walls, and then they ruin your clothes. Wow, that went dark. Cove, who had been nodding along with your suggestions, recapped the idea. So you're thinking of a red velvet cake with vanilla frosting and vanilla flavored custard on the inside. That's right.
Sounds good.
That sounds really good to me. That's a lot of vanilla. Then your mouth-watering cake flavors were all set. You were sure it was going to be a hit at the wedding. The inside of the cake is great. All that's left now is the cover. How should we wrap the old baby up? Do you like fondant? What's a fondant? Or maybe garnish? Garnish? What's a fondant and a garnish? Oh wait, I know. I think I might know what a garnish is. Cove shrugged. You said? What's a fondant? Can I search that up? You know what? I'm gonna go search that up. Fondant. 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 Uh, fondant. Meaning, in terms of baking, thick paste made of sugar and water flavored. Oh, it's like a coating of sorts. Okay, okay. Let's go with that. Butter covered in fondant. Got it. Almost done. What does buttercream even taste like? They scribbled that down in the binder. Finally, what elements would you like me to include in the design and presentation of the cake? Oh god, that's a lot. Ooh, meringue tea detail. That looks edible pearls. Ooh. Fresh flowers and plant. Ooh. Okay, 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 okay. Meringue detailing, you get edible pearls. Wait, edible plant. No, no, no. Hmm. Oh yeah, don't forget about that, and that's everything. Extra fancy, huh? That works for me. Awesome, we've got ourselves a cake plan. The baker's word made the baker's words made it official. You picked your wedding cake. You couldn't help but you couldn't help being especially thrilled about that. The wedding cake was such a vocal part of the party. Party. It would be featured in photographs and shared among your family and friends. The joy of the day distilled into a beautiful confection. Just thinking about it left you breathless. Breathless. Would it? Does it? You glanced at Cove out of the corner of your eye, wondering if he was feeling as excited as you were. He was leaning forward in his seat, a rapt expression on his face. As Xavier continued speaking, you pulled yourself back to the present. I'll take all the info you've given us today and use it to think up the finished design. I'll keep you in the loop on how it's going. Though before you go, are you wanting any other dessert on the side? Ooh, dessert. Maybe cupcakes or cookies? Or we could do something else if there's anything specific if you have in mind. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. I want, ooh, ice cream. Okay, okay. Wait. Yeah, cake and ice cream, a perfect combination. We don't make ice cream in-house, but we do have connections with a business that could provide that for us. That's fine with me. You nodded, pleased with that the idea could be put into practice. Then ice cream it is. The three of you walked over the details of your additional dessert. Xavier skillfully guided you through it all to determine everything from your preferences for flavor and texture to the quantity you needed. Eventually, it was all set up. Xavier reviewed their notes in the binder. So you're getting a 3-tier cake with a beachy kind of feel that's chocolatey? And you're also getting some ice cream along with it? Your heart fluttered as you imagined the cake once again. You and Cove standing over it and ready to take the first cut. The side dessert was beautifully complemented the cake. What? The side dessert beautifully complemented the cake, completing the picture perfectly. Yeah, those are our desserts. Cove bounced in his chair again, his hands clasped against the edge of the table. His excitement was as palpable as your own. This is gonna be so good. Xavier grinned, pleased to see the two of you happy. Thanks again for coming to us for our wedding. We'll make the desserts of your dreams. We worked through the outstanding specifics of your order with Xavier, who was determined to get everything right for your big day and had an answer for ready for everything you could throw at him. Once the final arrangements had been confirmed, you left the bakery feeling confident that your wedding cake was going to be just wonderful. Cove naturally shared your optimism completely. Save again. Just drink some water. As per usual, Cove and Baxter met up on another day for another session. A few light-hearted words were engaged as Baxter watched the two of you amusedly. Cove's mood was still shining, and Baxter could tell.
So?
I take it that the cake designing went well? Like a child who is excited to show their latest work of crayon art to their teacher, Cove shared his news with pure happiness. We're getting a really big one. I'm so pleased to hear about that. What shall we be doing today? Ooh, pick a caterer. Alright. Cove's brightening enthusiasm was no surprise to you. Food always excited him. Yeah, let's do the food stuff first. Baxter placed his hands on the arms of his chair and lightly tapped it with the tip of his fingers.
In that case...
This would be a nice time. I'll make sure you find the proper service to meet your ends, but don't worry, I won't get in the way of deciding any of the details for the main menu. Thanks. I appreciate that. After that, the rest of the session circled around finding a specific catering company, and eventually you all agreed on one in particular. They were able to make arrangements with you right away. Sorry for the absence, I went to brush my teeth. It's mad late here. Oh, is it? Wait, what time is it for you? What time is it for you right now? Late? I thought I would be late considering I'm from I thought I'd be late considering I'm living in I'm from New Zealand, all that. Lol. One phone call and you had a scheduled time to go over details in person. That included a meeting with the shift too. And as an added bonus, this would all happen before your next appointment with Baxter. It was a relief knowing that the menu would be taken care of by the next time you saw him again. Until then, there wasn't much else to do. It was time to leave. Thanks again for your help.
See you.
It's my pleasure. Of course, I await your next visit. We'll be back soon. Bye. Baxter nodded with a genuine smile as he watched you head out the door. Once you are outside the office, you notice the little Pip and Cove step. You are both in good spirits. Chipping away at the wedding planning had a special way of doing that. On the scheduled appointment with your caterer, you and Cove eagerly arrived at the location specified over the phone. Ooh, fancy kitchen. Why am I reminded of Gordon Ramsay though? You were led inside the building past the seating room and directly into their commercial kitchen. It was sleek, silver, and so clean that it sparkled. That observation alleviated some worries right away. Next to you, Cove's eyes wandered the space with intrigue. Along the back wall, you spotted a woman at a sink large enough to be an arm's length deep. She looked over her shoulder and grinned broadly. Oh, it's Rhonda, that's a nice name. Hold on, I'll be right there. She finished washing up and swiftly crossed the room, drying her hands on her apron. When she reached you and Cove, she gave a little bow. Hi, I'm the head chef and your caterer, Gordon Briggs. Gordon Briggs. Oh god, what do I? The chicken is fucking raw. I can't do his accent. I can't do British accents. I'm sorry. The chicken is fucking raw. Where's the lamb sauce? Where's the lamb sauce? Oh my gosh. Hi, I'm the head chef and your caterer. I hear that you're getting married and are in need of sustenance for your friends and family. Yeah, we are. Well, I assure you that you've come to the right place. We provide a full-course meal with a menu tailored to your taste and requirements. What if I should... Oh. No, wait, I would have an Asian accent. No, wait, not Asian accent. Wait, I want to try again. Where is the lamb sauce, la? You fail... I can't. You're failure. What are you? A fail... Just imagine Gordon Ramsay, Asian Gordon Ramsay acting like an Asian parent. Okay, I should stop. I should stop making the... I mean, it's not offensive to me, but it might offend some people. Ah, jeez. We'll also include all the plating, silverware, and glasses. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Why don't you introduce yourselves? A bit stunned by the speediness of the chef's candor. Candor? What's a candor? Candor. Cove took the opposite approach and slowly, awkwardly pointing to himself. I'm Cove, the groom. And my name's Airi, the bride. I love it. You can call me Rhonda. Okay, hi Rhonda. Hey, nice to meet you. Marvelous. Now I have a little pamphlet and I'm gonna go grab. You can read it, leave it on the counter and use it as a coaster. It's okay. I'm gonna explain everything myself anyways. Think of it as an extra guide. Rhonda waves the idea of any formality with both hands as she also shrugged nonchalantly. Cove chuckled shyly, leaning towards you while she lightly jogged to the other side of the kitchen. She scooped up 2 information sheets and came right back. Rhonda confidently stretched her arm out all the way to offer you each a pamphlet. Both of you accepted one. Cove turned his around in his hands, inspecting it carefully. You studied the one in your hands too. Ooh, tasty. Oh, look at that spaghetti. Oh, what's that? Is that cheese? Ooh, I've never seen spaghetti with tiny blocks of cheese before. It looks tasty. Ugh. Well, now that I remember that we can go into the nitty-gritty. Let's shop talk the menu. You can choose to have a single menu that's consistent across the board, easy peasy, or we can do up to 2 fully separate types of menus based on the different dietary needs. Guests could choose between them, and we'll prepare as much of both as needed. And it practically goes without saying, but we'll be able to accommodate individual plate changes if any comes up. For example, a situation where just 1 or 2 people need some specific elements left out, we can work with that without needing to make another full selection for it. What kind of menu did you two have in mind? Oh. One with full scale exclusion for taste and allergies. What does that mean? One with no special requirements. Vegan. Let's go with Cove. Cove, you take the wheel. Cove's attention moved from the pamphlet to you. He breathed out evenly, understanding that he would be the one to answer here. Well, I don't think we have any special requirements. Hey, what about our sister? What about our sister? Frick, what's her name? I forgot her name. What's her name again? Oh god. Elizabeth. Yeah. Yeah, okay, what about our sister Elizabeth? Didn't she go vegetarian at some point? Nodding, you were in agreement with Cove's answer. You appreciated him speaking up and handling the situation for you. Sure thing. The chef smiled warmly at his choices and then pulled out a notepad and pen. She made sure to write everything that was requested. That's the biggie already done then. Let's keep the ball rolling. Yes, please. At the minimum, there's gonna be a main entree in our service, so that's 1 course automatically. And if you're having cake or another dessert, that'll technically be another course for your guests, although that doesn't count as one of the portions that we offer here. I can go up to 6 courses, the dinner, and as many of 5 additional portions. Oh god, that's a lot of food. So we're looking at salad, soup, a hot appetizer, a cold appetizer, and or a plate cleanser. Palate cleanser. Do you know how big you want the service to be? 6 course meal. Oh, that's a lot of food. Maybe two course meal, maybe. That shouldn't be bad. He crossed his arms with a considering look pervading his expression. His aquamarine eyes met yours, and he switched to a smile. I really did want at least one of those other options. 2 courses then, eh? Sounds like it. Do you know what you'd like for? Soup and salad. I like soup though. Perfection. This'll be tasty. Oh, and how much heat are you expecting for the dishes? We can keep it all very mild, or we can easily push the spice levels up. The food should be burning hot. Your tongue will be in pain, and as your face will go tingly and numb with losing all sensations. Your head will feel lightheaded, and your ears will be deafened. JK, I won't go that far. Mild as the base, please. We don't want people dying on our wedding, thank you very much. That'll keep everyone happy. Maybe there could be sauces on the table for people to add their own. We can do that. Your lips pulled into a happy smile. Not that you were surprised, but still, you were grateful to have Ko's full support here. And the chef backtracked through her notes for a second. She thought over everything that you had discussed until she could pin down exactly what was slipping her mind. What about the drinks? Are we just a water please just water please party, a coffee tea group, or hard drinkers? There's always at least going to be water even if you have other options, so don't worry about that. Oh, I'd like there to be What's a sparkling water? No. Fruit juices. What's a fruit juice? Maybe some wine. Oh, hello, Fast Guy. How was your week? You well? I think this is everything. I think we covered it. There's nothing else I'd want to add. We'll make it happen. So what's the menu type? Meal scale, spice level, and beverage basics? Oh, what? And beverage basics. Pleased, Rhonda rolled her sleeves up. Her gaze fell onto you and Cove with a new determined gleam. Let's go deeper. Oh, there's more? Cove smiled nervously at the chef's intensity, but it didn't wilt completely. He had a sneaking suspicion his reigning strength came from the topic still being about food. Never change, Cove. The conversation continued from there. It dug into the specifics such as the main protein and side ingredients, the style of cuisine the food would be based on, and so on and on. It took a fair bit of time, but eventually a finalized selection was arranged. You couldn't get over how delicious everything sounded the longer the conversation went. By the end, Cove appeared just as relieved and excited as you were about the food. But most of all, you were so grateful to have a set menu planned for the wedding. It was fine. How was your week? That wasn't too bad. I had to do a presentation, which was kind of stressful. I did some photogrammetry. That went out okay, but not really at the same time. Like, part of it was rendered completely fine, and the other half was just not rendered properly. I think it was because I was doing it in my bedroom, so there was like way less room for me to move around to take photos of the object properly, you know? Rhonda, however, hadn't slowed down at all. I see that we're both settling down for a rest, but just hang on and stay with me a little longer. We're not done yet. Oh, there's something else? Yes, it's called presentation. We can do all levels of flair for your meal. Were you picturing a plain Jane approach or something more hoity-toity? What's a Jane approach? The stuff just needs to be on the plate. I put in the right right, take extra steps. I'm just gonna drink some water. Just This game makes my throat feel and makes my throat strain in pain. Yeah, it would be kinda nice if it felt special for that day of all times. That works for us. So as I started to talk about way back when, we'll provide the plates and utensils as such. Our plates are white, but they can be completely plain or have little swirly details around the edges. What do you think of that? Before you or Cove could even consider giving an answer, she held both of her hands up to stop that and stole a glance over her shoulder. Oh, you two know each other. Wait, give me another sec. I'll grab some stacks. You should see before choosing anything. Again, without leaving a window to say anything in response, Rhonda darted off deeper into the kitchen. Cove stared at her as she went. His expression was deadpan. You can pick the plates. Alright, I'll handle it. Nodded casually. An abrupt clattering came from the direction. She disappeared down, and a moment later, your caterer Rhea had reappeared. She kept her word and had piles of plates balanced in each of her hands. Oh, that's all the plates. She stepped up to a clear counter space. Rhonda spoke cheerfully, almost musically, while laying out the first set of plates and some books to go with them. Perhaps so you knew for sure what they'd look like together. Here's the white. Cove looked on distantly as you leaned forward to properly scrutinize the pure white dinner plates. Intriguing story. I see. And there's the swirl. As promised, the entire time, this time there was an extra design element on the plates. You considered it carefully. You just switch off the heater? Now, what are you thinking? I like the swirly one. Got it. Thanks for humoring me. And now you can breathe. Well done, we're done. Rhonda laughed happily as she closed her notepad and put it aside. Okay, cool. I'm glad we have that worked out. Thank you very much, Rhonda. Thanks so much. It's my pleasure. We're looking forward to knocking your socks off. It'll be a two course, no special requirements wild meal that your guests will be talking about for years to come, I promise. Neat. One last question. Sure things. How do we get out of here again? Oh my lord. Rhonda clapped her hands and let out a deep laugh. Co's face reddened with embarrassment. Go down the hall and take a lift to another hall. Then right, and then a right, and then you'll find the exit. It was so nice meeting you two. Thanks. Again. After that, you and Cove left the kitchen and made it out of the building in one piece, following Rhonda's instructions. You both returned to the car with a vigor in your strides. It was amazing to get such a nice meal arranged in exactly the way that you both wanted to be. The food was definitely something you were going to be daydreaming about from now until the big day. When you arrived at the office again, Baxter was already comfortably seated and scanning over his notebook. He glanced up from it at the sound of the door opening.
Hello, folks.
Welcome back. What's on the menu? Baxter smirked, but Cove answered with complete earnestness. All other things. Delicious. What shall we be doing today? Claude's, please. Let's just save that first. Clothes, please. Wonderful. He clapped his hands together at the thought.
Wow.
I can imagine you'll both look incredible, so... I recall that the two of you are intending to keep the outfits nice and secret for the special day. Does it mean you're each shopping alone, or were you thinking about extending the invitation to someone else? I want my dad to come. Sounds like something a best man should do, right? I know my mum will want to come too, but she doesn't live close, so, you know. Cove shrugged weakly. Baxter nodded with a faint quirk of humor in his expression. It'll be nice for Mum to see you on our actual wedding day, though.
Of course.
Of course. You felt Cove. You felt for Cove, familiar with the issue yourself. You could think of a few geographically unavailable people it would have been nice to bring with you as well. Teleporters would make my life so much more easier. Maybe, meh. Cove considered it, tilting his head in thought. He wasn't completely against the idea, but didn't fully commit it either. I'm not very good at that. That is true. Even though it would have been nice for Cove to share the experience with his mum, you were sure that no matter what Cove wore, Kyra would still be just as excited to see him on the big day. Oh god, I'm getting tongue-tied by this game. And it was great that he'd still be able to bring his dad. Tell him I said hi. For your own shopping adventure, you pictured how you wanted the experience to go. Then you directed your question back at Baxter, finally ready to answer his question. Yes, shall we go with my mum's? You welcomed your mum's help on this shopping adventure. The trip was far less likely to end up with you scrutinizing yourself in a mirror when trying on the 13th outfit for 15 minutes, trying to judge it and then the previous dozen options yourself. With that decided, Baxter rubbed his hands together in satisfaction. Perfect. But before you run off on that next outing, it would be best to choose where you're going. Do you have a preference on which store or stores would you like to visit? There are two excellent local shops that should be able to set you both up with whatever you need. One is primarily a dress boutique, but it also has romper and skirt options. The accessory section is also divine. There's also a shop that focuses on suits, pants, skirts, suits, pants, skirt, what? On suit, pants, what the hell? On suits, pants, suits, skirt, skirt suits. They have it. They also have all the relevant additions that you'd be likely to want. Gosh, that was a tongue twister. I'm gonna wear a suit, so I guess I'll need to go to the suit shop.
What do you think?
And you, Airi? Boutique it is.
Doable.
That works. Cove nodded in agreement. Lovely. You make this so easy for me. Baxter sounded pleased as he reached over for his notebook on the nearby desk. He clicked his pen and jotted something down. I'll leave the rest up to you. I'll see you both during our next mission. Good luck. His smile was curled but bright. He waved you both off. Thanks. Cove's voice was nervous as he started to shuffle out. You got up, following him. Toodaloo, see you next time. Time passed from your meeting with your planner, and soon both of you and Cove were going out for the big shopping trip. You temporarily said goodbye to your fiancé. You hugged Cove as he squeezed your back with a big grin on his face. Have fun, Airi. I will. You're excited. Hopefully you'd find the perfect outfit that day. Your car beeped when you unlocked it and you climbed into the driver's seat. Cove waved you off when you left. You swung by the neighborhood and picked up your parents along the way. Mum and Ma joked about who called shotgun first and who would spread out in the back seat. It was a pleasant drive, full of light conversation. For example, you learned that there was an old rumor going around Sunset Bird about finally fixing up the old park. Oh, really? They're fixing up the old park? Ma doubted that it was going to happen, since apparently it had been going around the grapevine for a while. Mum didn't think there would be a smoke without a fire. But that's getting off topic. What are you hoping to find today, Airi? You mentioned a few of your ideas and your parents listened eagerly, chattering the most about possible ideas for the rest of the drive. Just gonna drink some more water. My god, I'm downing this water from my drink bottle pretty quickly, huh? Up ahead was a very proper, fancy-looking building. You could tell it was going to be really nice. You entered the boutique and took in the view. The first thing you noticed was how warmly lit the shop was. Despite most of the merchandise being stark whites, the lights had a soft glow. It was fanciful, like a fairy tale place where dreams could come true. The dresses had room to breathe, each displayed like it was a treasure. In the air there was a faint scent. You thought it was something floral, but you also thought you thought that something smelled like vanilla as well. Whatever it was pretty and not overwhelming. Fancy. Ma's eyes narrowed as she scrutinized the place. Yes, this should do well. Mum chuckled as she walked further into the shop. Well, if Lani says it's acceptable, then we're in good shape. A woman with an official seeming binder stepped across the floor with her high heels, not clacking once. She made eye contact with you and smiled. Hello? Is Airi here? Yes, I'm Airi. Thank you for coming and congratulations. My name is Gabrielle and I'll be your stylist today. We'll do everything you can to find you your dream look for the day. She grinned brightly and gestured for you to follow her. She led you over for a sitting area. One sec, before you settle in, let me get a few measurements. You obliged, and Gabrielle took a measuring tape from a pocket and wrapped it around you. You could tell that she had a lot of practice with how efficient she was at it. Thanks so much. Now feel free to sit. We can get this going. You sat in the middle of the seats. It seemed appropriate with how the spots were arranged, as you were able to get up and out easily. That'd be helpful. That'd be helpful considering why you were there. Your mum's filled into a couple open seats. Ma still seems to be inspecting her surroundings while Mum beamed at you. Gabrielle flipped over her binder and tapped her laminated pages with her manicured nails. To get an idea of your vision, I have a few questions for you. This will guide the selection process. I find it makes things a little more manageable if I bring you more options based on your preferences, instead of you going over every single piece we've got. We wouldn't want to overwhelm you. Ma smirked but had no comment. She had supervised a boutique since you were a child, and likely knew more than most of the employees here. However, you appreciated that she was respectful of their process. I know it's a lot to think about all at once, but let's just take it one question at a time. And remember that we can always go in another direction later if you want. Okay, sounds good. The stylist handed the questionnaire over to you, and you skimmed over the questions. It got more detailed as it went, but the start was fairly simple. The type of clothing you wanted bought out was... Okay, what is a romper? You know what? I'm gonna go search up what a romper is. Romper, 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 romper. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I didn't notice. Hello, Hyphen. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't notice you were there. I just read an interesting story and went with it. I thought you were like Malik Tori, because both of you got like purplish, bluish based profile pictures. And that's why I thought that was Malik Tori. Okay, okay. Romper's definitely not what I want. I dress then. That was in a traditional shade, in a non-traditional shade. Traditional shade? Specifically, white, off-white, cream, pearl, ivory, champagne. What's a champagne color? Wait, I'm gonna go search up what's an ivory color. What's an ivory color? Ivory color. Ivory color. Wedding dress. Yes, I need reference. It's not much of a difference. Wait, I'm gonna look at all the options. Cream wedding dress. I'm just using Google for reference. There's not much of a difference, really. Off-white pearl. What is pearl? Pearl. Okay. There's not much of a difference. Pearl. With what kind of garment you wanted and the desired color filled out, the questionnaire transitioned into a more style-based questions. We went down the list, picking up descriptor after descriptor that sounded best. Modern? Wait. I'm gonna go search up. Oops. Modern. You know what? Let's go with modern. Back. Traditional? Oh god, I don't know. What's matte cloth? Oh, damn, another thing I have to say. Matte cloth. M-A-T-T-E cloth. Matte cloth. Oh, that kind of matte cloth. Let's go with matte cloth. Well fitty, flowing frilly, fitted at the top, then flowing out, fitted at the top, then puffing out. Oh god, another thing I have to Google. How many times I have to Google? Fitted at the top, then puffing out. Oh, I can't believe I'm using Google search for it. Oh, that kind. Maybe this then. Let's see. Laced? Long sleeved? Let's see. Ankle? Finally, you handed the binder back to the stylist. She ran her gaze up and down the page. I'm on it. I'll go get you something. Gabrielle turned on her heels and headed to the back of the store, out of sight. The distinct style of the stylist's heels deliberately not clacking on the floor alerted you that she was coming back. She carried a dress that seemed right out of what you pictured from the questionnaire. It was the right color, right fabric, the style you indicated. Seeing all the elements put together in a single piece, the dress had a stylish feel to it. You look amazing in that, and you'd follow your mom's footsteps with that kind of style. True, it's wonderful, and not just because I would wear something like it. What do you think, Airi? Yep, this is it. I don't want to go through the process again. Your stylist lit up at your approval. She held the dress closer to you. Then you should put it on. The stylist walked you to the changing room, a generously sized space with a full mirror closed off by a heavy curtain. She hung the dress on a metal hook. Now, before I give you some privacy, would you like me to grab any accessories to complete the look? Ooh, I think a veil would be nice. Veil. A train? What's a train? Imagine me in the wedding holding Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, that's kind of terrible. Look at that, and that's everything. Boom. Let's just save here. You shared your ideas with the stylist. From your description, she had something in mind and left you to collect what you requested. You closed the curtain after Gabrielle was gone. You were glad that there was a space to put your clothes when you changed out of them. You slipped into the dress. It fitted well for something off the rack. Gabrielle knew what she was doing with sizing. You inspected yourself before you left the dressing room. The view from the mirror was breathtaking. You truly were about to have a wedding. Ah, lovely. You slid the thick cloth partition aside and stepped back to the main floor of the shop. You paused in front of another well-lit mirror and beamed. Gabrielle walked up and accessorized you. The look was finished. In the mirror, the day you were planning for looked back to you. You in the dress you'd wear to the ceremony. It felt real. Content? Every piece was fitting together and each moment was joyful. You nodded at your reflection and then spun around to face the others. Ma hugged Mum from the side. It's amazing, honey. Mum took a moment to recover from being bowled over from the unexpected hug, but rallied. You've never looked better, kiddo. Oh gosh. You twisted around looking back at the mirror. It was the right choice. You went back to talk with the stylist together. She helped you get things sorted. Gabrielle took more of your measurements and discussed the shoes you'd be wearing. The boutique would tailor the dress to fit you and your shoes size exactly. Oh, thank goodness. It didn't take long to wrap everything up. You thanked Gabrielle for her help and had had every belief that the next time you put on that dress, it would be for the best days of your life. When outside, the first thing your mind was calling Cove to let him know you were done. You selected Cove's name in your favorites and tapped the call button. He answered right away. His voice was chirpy all over the phone, eager to talk to you. Hey, Airi. Hi. How did it go? It went great. Another thing to check off the list.
So glad.
That's so good. I'm glad it worked out. He sounded sweet, and a small part of you melted. Talking to him made you even happier than you had been for successfully finding your outfit. How are things for you? I did it too. Me and Dad kinda struggled, but it worked out. I'm pretty sure it's all good. You should like it. Can't wait to see. You tried to encourage him. Cove sounded anxious about his lack of clothing skills, but you didn't share his fear. I believe in you and your dad. Between the two of you, I know you felt something spectacular. Lovely, lovely. Cove stayed silent for a moment. You waited for him to respond, unfazed that he needed a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've been a little nervous about it all, so hearing that from you really helps. I'm happy I can do something for you. Yeah. But I should probably let you go. We can see each other in person once we get back.
I love you.
What? God. Good grief. That was so sudden. Oh god. Oh jeez. Wow. Wow. Really hitting there in the chest, huh, man? Dude. Goodbye for a little bit, Airi. I love you. Love you too. Bye. Oh god. You ended the call gleefully and tucked the phone away. Then you pulled out your keys and hurried off to your fiancé. You also gave your appreciation to your moms for not interrupting your conversation with Cove. They had been able to sense you'd been missing him and needed that time. You parked in the familiar street to drop off your mums. With the car parked in front of your old house, you said your goodbyes. I've not seen that house in such a long time.
Thanks.
Thanks for letting us come along. Hopefully we didn't cramp your style too much. I'm sure we'll see you soon. You thanked them for joining you and waved until they disappeared into the house. In the car with the scenery flying past you, you reflected on the day. You thought back to what you had put together and felt your heart flutter. The image was crystal clear. You could see yourself in it, and the view of your wedding day had become that much more defined in your mind. Right on time, you entered Baxter's office for your next meetup. He was waiting there for you.
So,
Hello. Were you both able to find pieces you're happy with? I think so. It's gonna be wonderful. Yeah, as it should be. What shall we be doing today? Yeah, I think... Man, wait, this took way shorter than I thought. Okay, maybe after we're done with the planning session, we can do the wedding part, a little bit of the wedding part the next time or something. I feel like we should begin with the dance lessons. Oh, you want to get started on that? Exciting! Baxter gestured down to the other door in the space, rolling his wrist to point with his whole hand in an extravagant gesture. There's a room down here in the building. You can use for dance lessons. I'll need to schedule it, of course. We'll need to be certain that there wouldn't be any conflicts. If you could wait just a moment, please. He pulled out his phone and swiped his finger a few times, his brow furrowed as he checked some sort of calendar. He tapped something with a flourish and looked up with a grin. Cove watched with open antsiness. Cove and I can attend lessons in the afternoon. Then Airi, we can have the evening. I believe I can pencil us in as early as tomorrow for the first sessions. Happily, there was enough vacancy in the event room for individual sessions. It's just 101 lessons were ideal. 101 lessons are ideal for this. Every person is at their own level and will need guidance with different aspects. I can get everything arranged today if that works for you. You know, I really suck at dancing. Oh god, the last time I danced was like, the last time where I actually had to dance was in primary school, and it was like for the last year in primary school for year, which was basically year 8. Oh, how old was I at the time? 13? I think I was 13 or yeah, 13. I was definitely 13 at the time. And god, we had to learn how to dance and everything, and it was so awkward. And you know, after the, I think it was called Leavers Dinner, if anything. I'm pretty sure it was Leavers Dinner, and it was for like the year 8s, those who were gonna leave primary school and start to enter into high school and all that. Yeah, after the Leavers Dinner, my mum commented to me saying that like you dance like a, hey Airi, you kinda dance like a robot. I'm like, oh, I mean, what did you expect? I'm really awkward at dancing. It's so awkward for me to dance. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. It feels so awkward. And then you have to go in close contact with other people, and then you have to stare at them. I don't like staring at people. I don't know. No, I don't. It's more like I don't like going eye contact on people because it's just like, no, I'm too awkward for this. So I just tend to just kind of indirectly look at them, like look at something else that is on them, like their neck. I think because I'm shorter than them than other people, so neck. Hence the neck and chest. Actually, not chest. The neck shall do fine. Cove nodded seriously. There was no hesitation coming from his corner, despite his jitteriness. Let's do it. You shot Cove and Baxter a pleased thumbs up. Yeah, they're having a bonding moment, finally. Yeah, that's good. Baxter placed the phone down to clasp his hands together. His enthusiasm was hard to miss. Excellent. I'll make it happen. And he did. Baxter made the necessary arrangements right afterwards. He asked for your input occasionally and finalized the times. He planned each detail out exactly. Any specific idea that Cove or you had was jotted down and added to the considerations. What kind of music are you thinking of? Would you rather go with something fast or something slow? It doesn't have to be ballroom staples. I'm more varied than that. Our recent wedding I helped went with classical music for the first half and then with early 20s dance music for the last half. There's no wrong answer to this. Cove shrugged and left the space for you whatsoever to answer. I mean, I could... Let's see, pop music. Maybe not pop music. Ooh, video game soundtracks. Oh, that'd be cool. Maybe... There are many video games with great soundtracks, but that you thought would be a good fit for a dance. Baxter nodded approvingly. Cove was even more supportive of your recommendation. Cool, I think I can guess some of the songs you're hoping for. Of course, and speaking of, let's chat about particular tracks. After continuing to discuss music selections for a while, your office time with Baxter finished and it was time to leave for the day. And save once again. Goodbyes were said, knowing that the separation wouldn't last long. Tomorrow wasn't far. The hours passed by quickly. It felt like a blink by the time the session rolled around. A bit after lunch, you drove Cove over to his first solo dance lesson with Baxter. He was definitely nervous on the drive there. Despite his usual anxiousness, he insisted that he wanted to do the lesson on his own. He showed you some of his moves he would show you some of his moves after he practiced. You wished Cove good luck and dropped him off, hoping he had a good time. You drove off as soon as he disappeared into the building. The plan was to run errands until it was time to pick him back up. You had heard about a new store that had opened recently. It was close enough that you decided to check it out and see if they had anything worth getting. Unfortunately, the store didn't have a good selection compared to other options, but you stalled at the snack section. You debated buying something in order not to leave empty-handed. Chips. Or not. Let's see. Chocolate bar. I like chocolate bar. You plucked a bar off the shelf and bought it. Another store that you knew would have what you needed was minutes away. A short drive later, you were on your way to finishing your errands. It was nice to keep busy while waiting for Cove. When the time came, you drove the car up to the front of the building, stopping where Cove stood on the sidewalk. Cove greeted you with a smile and hopped into the car. He closed the door behind him and buckled his seatbelt with a click. Click, click, click. I don't know how it goes. How'd it go? Cove shifted in his seat while rubbing the back of his neck. It was awkward, as you probably guessed, but not that bad. He brightened as he thought back. You listened to the vivacity in his voice, even as you focused on driving through the parking lot. Baxter is kind of a good guy, not a bad teacher. You pulled out from the front of the building and started making your way through the first intersection. To yourself, you admitted you were really curious. From what you could remember of that summer years ago, Cove and Baxter never spent time with just each other. To be fair, they were kind of both awkward on each other, and for some reason, Cove didn't like Baxter. To be fair, Baxter was kind of misleading at times too. Was a little sus about a few things, but you know. But yeah, did you have a bonding moment, Cove? Cove hummed and thought. We mostly just focused on the dance lesson, but I think we also talked about some general wedding stuff. He asked me about the material and napkins I liked. Nothing personal. He didn't bring up anything from back before, when he wasn't our wedding planner. He paused for a moment, then continued. It had to have been on purpose. I guess he didn't forget how I get uncomfortable when people acted too friendly too fast. You heard Cove tap the car door with his fingertips as he made a right turn. I wouldn't have minded talking a little more now, so we kinda made progress in more than just my coordination. A smile tugged at your lips. That was good to hear. Yeah, looks like they're having a bonding moment. You finally pulled into a parking space and parked the car. You couldn't linger in the car too long given your own lesson. It was time to go. You looked at the grocery bag in the back seat with a snack you had bought. If you're hungry, feel free to snack. You probably needed some fuel after dancing for so long. You pointed over at the food and Cove's eyes widened at the sight. That's gonna be good. I'll see you later. Bye. Love you. Love you too. Oh gosh. Cove leaned over, gave you a quick kiss, and you beamed back at him. You left Cove with the car and walked with a bounce in your step to meet up with your wedding planner, turned dance instructor. The door of the office building let you in after a firm yank. The air was cooler than what was outside. You know, I used to kick doors open back in high school. I used to kick doors open because the doors in my high school were just really heavy. They were like big chunks of wood, and they were really heavy and also really slow to close. You know. I forgot to ask. Can you guys hear me? Oh wait, you guys could definitely hear me because some of you did answer to some of my questions. Never mind. I was worried because I wasn't using Discord to activate the PNG stuff this time, so yeah. The doors of the office lit The doors of the office building let you in after a firm yank. The air was cooler than what was outside. You followed Baxter's directions from yesterday to navigate the wide halls. A left past the fire extinguisher and then a right at the first set of doors. You found a set of thick glass doors. You peered into a large event room. It had to be the place. Oh, that is large. You entered the space and noticed the towers of chairs on the sides of the room. It was so easy to imagine the room filled with a crowd, but for now it had all been cleared for your private class. You walked across the empty tile floor to the counter at the back where Baxter was. He raised his hands and waved you over, setting aside some notes that he had been reading. With the paper and an elegant fountain pen on the counter, he strode forward and met you in the middle of the large room.
Hello.
Hello, Airi. I'm glad you could make it. Hey! You waved at him and smiled warmly. I hope you've been well. Okay, that's what I like to see. Baxter pulled a remote from his jacket pocket and clicked a button. A speaker system he hadn't noticed before crackled into life. Familiar music filled the room. He must have been busy to already have the songs that you had talked about yesterday ready. He tucked the remote back into his pocket and then Baxter turned his attention on you. He offered you his hand.
Wow.
I'll lead. At least. I'll lead at least. At least at first. We can switch later if you prefer. His gesture felt grandly formal. He had enough performance practice to really feel as if he stepped out of a fairy tale ball. Ballroom e yokoso. Welcome to the ballroom. Was it just welcome to ballroom? I don't know what that anime is called. I only know the Japanese name. Ballroom e yokoso. You took his hand, ready to get started. His fingers linked around yours, and he put his other arm across your back. Your other hand hovered awkwardly in the air. You weren't sure where to place it. His shoulder, his back. He noticed your confusion and directed you into the proper form for a show dance. When you were comfortable, he guided you into the steps. You watched your feet carefully, following his lead. He was a good teacher and a reliable partner for dance. It didn't take long for you to start moving to the music, following the rhythm rather than roaring about what foot went where. Bleh. Baxter suddenly smirked. Wait, why the smirk? The twitch of his lips getting your attention immediately. Oh, I recalled that it wasn't just dance lessons I was available for, was it? I also offered to give you rides whenever you needed them, didn't I? Hopefully I haven't let you down with that. It took a moment before you understood what he was talking about. You laughed clear and bright. I think I'll be alright. We have our own cars now. You're impressed he still remembered, but then again, you also remembered it. It had been a particularly memorable summer all those years ago. Being firmly in the flow, the discussion died down. The only exchange was the music and the sound of your shoes on the sleek floors in time with each other's. Oh jeez, my throat. My throat. More water. Hydrate. Yeah. This game is killing my throat, I swear to God. I like this game, but gosh, you're killing my throat. Baxter chuckled as he led you to the left. You followed, watching his reaction more than your feet. Cove isn't a remarkably sweet man. You have nothing to worry about, in more ways than just his dancing. But I won't say anything else. Instructor-client privilege. That response piqued your interest past simple curiosity. What had happened? The question was plain on your face, but Baxter suddenly focused on your heels. With him staring downward, you paid more attention to your timing. Very nice. It was clear that you weren't going to get more out of him on the topic. I don't compete anymore, if that's what you mean. I haven't even kept up with it as a hobby lately. I do it for weddings, if the couple would like me to assist. He gazed into the distance, somewhere else for a heartbeat, then he came back to you and smiled. I still love dance, clearly. He wiggled his eyebrows and put emphasis on his movements. You had to admit that he had appeared happy enough during the session. There just isn't room for everything. I imagined that you dealt with similar situations in your adult life. I see. Thanks for giving me an excuse to make time for a dance. Save here. The field. You nodded. Baxter led you to the left, and it was back to said excuse to dance. The acoustics of the room were surprisingly good for dancing. The music was at a good volume, and despite the tile flooring, the tapping of your steps didn't echo distractingly off the walls. You both continued to dance as the song cycled through and back. Thoughts played in your mind about the surrealness of reconnecting with Baxter again after all these years without contact. However, that was secondary to your goal of dancing. Well, in your upcoming wedding to the love of your life. Haha, lovely. It wouldn't be too much longer until you would be doing this with your husband. Save again. Save again. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, na 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 na. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can I lead now? I was about to suggest that if you want to give it a try. You both rearranged your positions, and you were off across the floor. It was different from following Baxter, but it didn't take long for you to rediscover the right tempo. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... By the end of the session, night had fallen. You said goodbye to Baxter, and Cove came up to pick you up in the car. You mirrored his actions from early in the day, climbing onto the passenger seat and clicking on your seatbelt. He took the opportunity to copy you as well. So, how did it go? The amused sparkle in his eyes let you know that using your words were completely and utterly intentional. Yep, it was really nice. You enjoyed connecting with Baxter and couldn't wait to dance with Cove in the near future. Cove grinned widely, happy for you. I'm glad this was a good idea. Also, did I thank you for buying me a snack earlier? It was good. You're welcome. I hope there's some left. You craned your neck around to inspect the backseat. You saw an additional snack and Cove laughed. Don't worry, I didn't eat anything. I bought some drinks to go with them. I thought they'd be nice for a post-dance pickup. Cove better know how much you loved him, especially in moments like this. Gotta respect the decisions. With the day's arrangements taken care of, Cove pulled out the empty lot and started to drive away. Next time you're scheduled to come by it would be the usual kind of office visits. No dancing required. You highly anticipated the meeting back up with Baxter. You had a good feeling about where this wedding was going. When you arrived for your session that day, you noticed Baxter's foot was tapping against the floor in a steady rhythm. It seemed the lessons from the day before were still on his mind. Heya. Hi. Good afternoon. So nice to see you again. With all the work, planning, and the effort a thing of the past, you are having your final appointment with Baxter. The two of you situated yourselves on the purple couch in your normal spots. Thoughts, though Cove was unable to treat the visit as anything near normal. His legs had stiffened from nervousness so badly, the bend in his knees was like the snap of two branches. He nearly fell into the cushion. Baxter was on the complete opposite end of the comfort spectrum from Cove, smiled with a natural ease. Well. Then, this is the last time we're likely to see each other until the day of your wedding. Are you feeling prepared? Yes. Cove didn't react whatsoever. Not to Baxter or you. He was frozen solid. Baxter ran his hands along the inside edge of his jacket and placed his most encouraging smile on his face.
To be honest,
In all honesty, you've both done beautifully. Your wedding will be an event to be proud of, and I'll be there to make sure it flows smoothly. All you need to know now is enjoy yourselves. Each line Baxter spoke chipped away at the frosted shell around Cove until it cracked. Your fiance replied in a small voice. Thank you. Wow, thanks. Now, having broken the ice, Baxter easily shifted back into work mode. He touched the tips of his fingers to a pile of papers on the desk to his side. I've got details for the hotel for you here. I was able to book 2 standard single bedrooms for you and your parties to use to get ready in. The hotel is minutes from the ceremony venue, so you won't need to make a trip out there the morning of. Thanks, Baxter. You're good at this. Cover's admittance was almost embarrassed. He scratched his cheek and shared a look with you. You remember how hard of a time the two of you had getting a room when you had come to Sunset Road for your mum's anniversary. It was an ordeal. Cove chuckled, knowing you were reminiscing over the same experience. Baxter accepted the compliment earnestly without prying. He leaned an elbow against his chair's armrest and propped his head against his hand.
glad to hear it.
I'm glad to hear that. I do strive to be. He continued to relax, following up his prior motion with the cross of his legs. And I very much appreciate your great patience with the series of questions throughout this experience. I do still have yet one more topic I'd like to discuss. When you leave here, the wedding planning will be over. Do either of you have an opinion on seeing your beloved before the ceremony? Save here. That was not something Cove had considered. He didn't have words to back up the hasty interruption. Baxter smoothed it over by elaborating. I know some couples follow traditions of completely cutting contact in the lead up to the wedding, so it's a reuniting when they come together for the ceremony. Others start apart physically, though communicate over the phone, and there are those who don't participate in that whatsoever and stay with one another. This time, Cove gave himself space to consider it, letting the concept sink.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't have plans to be away from Airi. I like being around her when that's an option. But I guess maybe we could do that if it's a special thing for weddings. He laughed breathily and sent Baxter a question of his own. Are you gonna make fun of me for being clingy now? Never. Oh, okay. Lol. In disbelief, Cove's eyes bounced back forth between you and your planner. He was able to express his want and to always be around you, and no one in the room had given him a hard time for it. Cove absolutely beamed at the revelation. It was a pre-wedding miracle. You were charmed by both of his overt affection for you and by how cute he genuinely was. But you made an effort to not be entirely distracted, and you gave an answer to the question at hand. Yes, definitely call me. I'm glad you asked, cause yeah, I am a little clingy. Cove shuffled the balls of his feet against the carpet, while all the while all the while glancing over at you bashfully. You held on to his sweet gaze as long as you could. You were going to have to go without him for a while soon. Off to the side, Baxter watched the two of you from a spot off the office. Man, he's getting third wheeled here. On the office chair. The fondness of his expression for you and Cove had tipped past his usual professional distance. Oh, nope, he's not getting third wheel. He's just appreciating the scene here. Not wanting to ruin the moment, he spoke in a soft voice.
Perfect.
Very good. Everything is settled then. From there, the rest of the meeting was spent going over final details of the whole plan step by step. Baxter wanted to make sure you were on the same page and prepared for the events ahead. He shared amusing anecdotes of past weddings he'd planned. Some highlighted actual potential pitfalls. Some highlighted actual potential pitfalls you could intentionally avoid, and others were one in a million debacles. The most unbelievable was the story of a particular orchid ceremony from the year before. The stage was set with flowers, a walkway seating, and wooden arch at the end. Sounds simple? Simple? He was looking on in a final survey, primed for the guests to arrive, when an out-of-control truck had back end full of apples drove straight through. Oh no. Oh no. Did the truck hit anyone? I really hope it didn't, because then they'd be sent off to another world. They'd be isekai'd to another world. The driver was unharmed when he got the truck to stop, and the couple was still married, a bit in a much simpler arrangement. But Baxter distantly remembers the almost comedic surrealness of it. Yeah, that would have been quite hilarious. And a disaster right before the wedding too. That sucks. Seeing a complete wedding and having it flattened back to the ground in the blink of an eye was something he never expected or hoped to experience. While the planner chuckled in recollection, Cove leaned over to ask if you thought there'd be any reason a fruit truck might be at your venue. You're pretty sure there weren't. The stories and laughter continued until the end of the appointment. It reminded you of the final day of class before summer vacation. Technically, you were still in school, but everyone was eager for the fun to begin. Then goodbyes were exchanged as usual, with promises to see each other soon like there had been many times you'd visited. My tongue's getting tongue-tied. I think this is almost the end of the planning section. However, when you left the office, you had to wonder if you would ever go back there again. When you saw Baxter next, it would be at the wedding location. Maybe you would return someday, if you and Cove decided to renew your vows and needed a planner again. Wait, people can renew weddings or something? Do they get second weddings? Under a wide starry sky, you and Cove hopped into his car to head back. Despite having done it many times before, it felt completely different that time. After the click of seatbelts being snapped into place, there was a silence in the cab. None of the boisterousness from minutes ago had come along with you. Cove's expression was pensive as he rounded the curb and got the car out onto the street. A gentle rumbling resonated from your wheels rolling across tarmac. That was the only word he managed to articulate before his mouth clamped up tight again. He had an internal struggle made visible, and ultimately he made enough peace with it to finally smile. Right now, I have a lot going on in my mind. You probably guessed that. There's so much I want to say to you about us and what happened, all of this, but it would probably make more sense if I said it during the wedding, right? His voice dropped to a complete whisper, but his grip on the steering wheel intensified. It's so close now. Cove took in a deep breath through his nose, allowing his fingers to loosen again. That was followed by him answering his own question. So here again.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Pretend this didn't happen. Damn, I'm so curious now. Yeah. Sorry, you'll have to wait. Something I've always made you do. Why change that standard now? He pounded even harder now, over Cove's self-satisfied response. But there's a lot of things I'm thinking about too. Like the fact that these are the last moments of our lives together, not being married. After this, I'll be your husband and you'll be my wife. Unbelievable. Yeah. Twisting in your seat, you let the side of your face rest against the back of the chair. You rested there at the end of such a long project, watching your almost husband as you continued to drive ahead. The two of you were moving forward, full of hope and anticipation for the very near future. Ah, yes. After days, weeks, years of waiting to commit yourself to the love of your life, the morning of your wedding arrived. Okay, okay, we're nearing the end of stream. It was a realization that hit you as you laid in the dark hotel room. Yeah, no, it's definitely. You weren't able to tell exactly how long you'd been up at that point. You rolled over to check the time. Sat on the table, on the side table next to the bed was the stock standard digital clock, flashing the current hour and minute in bright red lights. It was time to get up, at least it was for you, if you didn't want to be late, or show up in your wedding in pajamas. And think of that, it struck you that Cove had to have gotten up as well if he hadn't woken up even earlier. Reaching over to the table, you got a hold of your phone. Clicking it in showed a string of new messages. It wasn't hard to guess why people might have things they say to have on that want to say to you on that particular day. But one name on the list caught your attention over all others. Cove, he messaged you. You open your chat with them instantly and read each individual text. I'm awake. I want to call you, but I don't want to wake you up if you're asleep. It's important to have a good night's sleep, especially now and all the time. You can tell me when you want to. Love you. You started grinning before you even finished the set, and by the end your heart had started pounding painfully. Code brought you joy so effortlessly. You tapped at the screen to switch from messages to his contact page, clicking to call. There was already an answer the moment you lifted the phone to your ear. Hello? Airi? Yeah, I'm here. Oh, cool. His tone grew softer and you pressed the phone closer to hear. Congratulations on your wedding. He giggled happily as well. It was a lovely moment to share, both mundane and incredibly special in its own way. But then Cove gave a deep sigh. The gentle voice turned to a distant whisper. It's almost time. He brought some levity back to his tone with a joking question. Would it be wrong to say I'd rather go see instead of getting ready? That got a laugh from Cove. I'll stay. People are coming here soon for the wedding party. After making a declaration to be responsible, he stalled there. Alright. Yeah. Cove's ear wasn't directed at anything in particular. He was grasping to fill air to buy time while he sorted his thoughts. We're getting married. I'm going to marry you. The gravity of the occasion fell on Cove, heavier and heavier as he vocalized it. My stomach hurts. Oh no. Oh no no no. Cove. You weren't able to say another word before he sucked in an audible breath. I have to go. Right now. I'm getting nervous. It's gonna get worse. But I want to do this. More than anything else. Your heart went out to the man you loved. You could relate all You could relate all too well to the feeling he was confronting. There was a gasp as he finally let out the air he had been holding in. Bye, love you. Okay, bye. Without letting his determination lapse, Cove ended the call. As short of an exchange it was, hearing his voice had been such a nice way to start the day. You knew you'd make the right choice to not fully separate. With great effort, you pulled yourself away from the safety of the blanket. You had to do it. You wouldn't be able to see him if you stayed there. Wait, is this already the wedding scene? Your clothes were hanging against the door of the small hotel closet, and you went over to double check the outfit. It all looked fine. You assured yourself while taking slow, calming breaths. Everything would be alright. From there, you went into the bathroom to brush your teeth and shower before anything else. Yeah, I think I might have to stop here. Well, I might have to stop here now. Right, thank you for coming to the stream. So next month we're definitely gonna do the wedding section. So yeah, hold up. In the schedule, is this the schedule? This is the wrong schedule. Whoops! I forgot to get the other schedule out. Okay, let me just hold on. Let me just get the new schedule out first. Browse. Projects. Schedule 9, open. Okay, this is the new schedule. As you can see, next week is Stardew Valley, week after is Grim Dawn, and then Little Nightmares. I really hope I can play this with my model, because it's 3D and model's 2D, and PRPR Live uses a lot of stuff in the computer to let it work and all that. Tried to use VTube Studio. Man, I did not understand how to import my stuff. And last and not least, Duolingo stream. Yes. I've not. Duolingo stream. Maybe I should try Japanese. Maybe I should try Chinese for the first half, and then Japanese for the second half. I mean, I don't know. Let's see how that'll go. But yeah, this is my schedule for this month. So yeah, thank you for coming to the stream, and bye bye.